All right, so today is May 23rd, 2023, and I've been continuing on planking, although I slowed down a little bit since my lumber won't be here for a couple more weeks. But I've still been putting on like a set of 4 per day. And now I have moved beyond, this is my last opening here that I could get into the boat from underneath, at least in the forward cabin here. And it's closed off now, so yeah, no way to get in the boat anymore. And I still would like to get in the boat occasionally, so the other day, today is Tuesday and I guess it was Sunday, I built some stairs to go up into the boat. Yeah. And I've also been doing a little bit more wiring. I've got my first 2 AC circuits hooked up, and I ran a 12 gauge wire. There it is there, running down to a plug in there. And I've got that going into my AC breaker box, my AC panel in the boat. And so I've got my first 2 circuits actually wired up and usable. I put an outlet in the, you probably can't see it, it's up way up there. Yeah, maybe you can, it's behind that pipe, there's an outlet up there. And then I hooked up the water heater, and I tested the water heater. I let it run for an hour and it came out and ran the water in the sinks, and yeah, nice hot water. In fact, maybe a little too hot maybe. But yeah, that works fine. So we were pleased with that. I've got today on UPS, they should be bringing me my new screws, which I'll need for bottom planking on the side here, and my bilge pump hose, which I want to get that at least run, up to from the bilge pumps, run it up there so I can put through hulls in once the hull is done and hook them up. But again, it's going to be a lot easier to do that now than later. Well, my stairway here, it's not ideal. I mean, it's still kind of hard to get work to get in because it's so low up there. But I suspect once we move the boat outside, I'll have to rebuild this somehow rather than attaching it to the side of the boat, we'll have to do something else, build a framework to support it or whatever. But for now, it works fine. I made these steps they're a foot apart, which is higher than normal steps would be, but yeah, for this application, it's fine. It's big steps, but little people might have problems with them, but it's not too big of an issue for me. And I put a handrail over here just to give you something to hold on to and stabilize yourself. Now, it would have made more sense, I suppose, to put it on this side so you don't, less likelihood of falling off the side here, the open side here. But I wanted to be able to carry things up there, and that gives me more room to maneuver them. And it just was easier to put it on this side then. It still serves the same purpose. But yeah, so let's go up here once and you can kind of see what has to go on to. And then right here, of course, is the engine room. And what I'm doing now is, because I've only got 2 feet or a little better between the top of the boat and the roof of the building here, I'm kind of swinging a leg over here and stepping into here. Oh, there's that outlet. You can see it now, right there. But and then there's the stairway going down into the saloon here, which works fine, and it's all right getting in and out of here. But what a guy's going to have to do if he wants to bring bigger things up in here, you're going to have to bring them in and just set them down on the deck beams here, and then drop them in, or go down inside and pull them in. Now, it is possible to get from the aft cabin also, but I don't have a stairway back there yet, because that's going to be the aft cabin right there at that bulkhead. Behind it is the aft cabin. And for the time being, you could actually walk over these big deck beams here on the fuel tank to get across if you had to. I could put some 2x up in here too, and you could But for now, it makes more sense just to walk on the fuel tank because it gives you more headroom in there. But other than that, that's about all I've been up to be honest. And it's, middle of May, so the grass is growing like crazy. And today I've been mowing all day again. But this afternoon now, providing my parts come in like they're supposed to, I'll be able to get some hose run for the bilge pumps. There's another one back here. And I've been thinking maybe I should get started this week on the shower stall there. Maybe getting some glass in there and some cloth and whatnot while I can still get in here a little bit easier. Well, not entirely incredibly easy, but I can still get in here. And then I can get the plumbing hooked up for the drain for the shower. Because I'm going to have to tee into that hose right there, which goes into the pump box here. And I might as well do that before I start planking, otherwise I'm going to have to do it all from the access hatch on the inside. It's going to be kind of an interesting deal there because I need to cut through the floor of the shower literally, and to put an access hatch in there to get at this bearing here in the shaft seal. So I'm going to have to, and that's going to be in the shower. So I'm going to have to get that sealed up somehow. I'm thinking maybe just using that butyl tape, because it's not like it's going to have standing water in it all the time, but I'm going to have to taper it just a little bit too so it drains. Yeah, we'll see how that goes, but that might be on the list for jobs to do this week too, or certainly before I start the planking on this side. Yeah, I know George had talked about planking both sides at the same time, doing 10, 12, 14 planks on one side and then coming over doing the other side to keep the stresses and the weights and stuff on the boat the same. But stresses, there isn't any. Planking was a different story because you're bending those on, the top planking, the side planking. But down here, there is no stress on anything, so it's not putting stress anywhere. It's just going to be a factor of weight. And I've got this thing pretty well secured with these 4x4s, so I don't think a little bit of extra weight's gonna really make that much difference in the grand scheme of things. And like I said, it allows me to do the bottom planking while I'm also doing some things here while I've still got access. So that's my update for Tuesday, May 23rd.